folks. Welcome to the Seven Figure Network podcast. My name is Melford Bivens. Today, I'm joined by Dan Aldridge, and I'm so happy to have him on today because he is from England. And as you know, we end up interviewing folks from all around the globe, but lately we've been talking to a lot of Americans. So talking about Americans trying to go internationally, I'm really excited to talk to Dan about what's going on with them right now, how they're building. One of his mentors is actually somebody I know, so I'm really excited to get going with this. So Dan, thanks for being on the show today, but I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Melford. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. So thank you for having me.
No, it's my honor indeed. So do me a favor, tell me what drove you into the industry in the first place.
Yes, so I got involved in network marketing 7 years ago. At the age of 25, somebody offered me the opportunity. And at the time, I was a joiner, a carpenter and joiner. So working in the construction industry, in a workshop, making products, windows, doors, stairs, wardrobes, furniture for people who could afford bespoke furniture. Mm-hmm. So I saw a lot of upper class, wealthier people who could afford bespoke furniture, and I was working in their houses, but I was never going to be one of those people who could afford any bespoke furniture. So I had a taste of how the others live, but I was just on a path of being a construction worker, working 9 to 5, and that's when someone offered me an opportunity to make an extra income. I was dissatisfied in that job. I was unfulfilled. I was coming home at the end of each week exhausted. And at the end of each month, I had no money. As everyone knows how the 9 to 5 world works, I was that guy living for the weekends on the hamster's wheel of life, one holiday a year. And I wanted more. I had more inside of me. Mm-hmm. I had goals, I had dreams, I had ambition, I had work ethic, but I didn't have the right vehicle to apply that to. Mm-hmm. So when I did get offered the opportunity of network marketing, of course, as every man is, I was very skeptical. I went along to an offline meeting where I sat in the back of the room with my arms crossed, thinking, what is this? I'd never experienced anything like this before in my life. And I saw the products. Mm-hmm. They ticked a big box for me. I saw the compensation plan. I saw the numbers of duplication and multiplication. And I just said, you know what? Even if I just make an extra £100 to £200 a month doing this, mm-hmm. It's an extra £100 to £200 a month I wouldn't have doing carpentry. But little did I know, the business set me on fire. It gave me a mission in my life. It gave me purpose in my life. And I fell in love with everything, especially after I went to my first event, which really opened my eyes for me. So I was someone who was not really open-minded for opportunity, but more desperate to change my current situation.
Yeah.
And when this opportunity presented itself to me, I said, let's have a look. And I took a look at it from an open mind. And 7 years on, here I am. This is my career now. So it's changed my life.
And how long ago did you quit your normal job and go full-time into network marketing?
I did it after just over a year. Wow. But I wouldn't advise that.
Thank you.
Because I did it too early. I actually quit my job before the business was making me the same money as my carpentry income. Yeah. But I was just so miserable. And I knew, because of the business, what you get out, what you put in is what you get out. I knew that if I could apply my carpentry work ethic to this, I could smash this business. Yeah. So I quit my job on the Christmas of that year. And I worked at this business harder than I've ever worked at anything in my entire life. And I built my income up from, can I say my numbers?
Oh yeah, go ahead, please.
I built my income up from £700 a month with my network marketing business to £2,000 a month in 90 days. Wow. So I completely replaced my full-time income with this, and then onwards and upwards from there. But those 90 days, still to this day, I still try and work as hard as I did back then. Mm-hmm. But I honestly, I believe I was the hardest working guy in the company. I was at my desk from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. for 90 days, just on it, absolutely on it. And those 90 days I was doing back then, I'm still getting paid for today because of the people I introduced and the customers I enrolled.
Wild. So do me a favor and tell us, what did you do during those 90 days? I mean, I know that everybody doesn't want to be the most psychotically driven person on the planet, but some people are going to want to. So some people are cool with being psychotically driven. So do me a favor, what did you actually do during those? Because you more than doubled your business. I mean, and that's the beautiful part about this industry is that scales. You know, you could be doing 10 grand a month and double to 20 grand a month. I mean, this doubling thing doesn't matter what rank you're in. It just matters the drive and what you do. So what did you actually do during those 90 days?
I just took massive action on the income earning activities. So in my business, we get paid to get new customers and we get paid to bring in team members and help them succeed. Okay. So what I did was I assigned a room in my house as my office. I put a big piece of whiteboard stuff on my wall, and every single team member I got, I'd write them up, and I would make it my mission to help them be successful. So over the 90 days, my team grew, and I had about maybe 5 or 6, 7 frontline, and a couple of them were progressing and recruiting and duplicating. And that was when I started to get some depth in my business for the first time. So to be completely honest with you, for those 90 days, I was doing nothing except for pitching people, or prospecting, as you might say. And I was posting on social media to attract people to me. And I was also networking online. So I was speaking to people mainly on Facebook back then, but now it's a lot more Instagram as well. But I was going absolutely nuts. And my team at the time, it wasn't very big. It was maybe 20 people at the time. They were saying to me, Dan, how are you speaking to this many people? And it's because I would just sit there, and if I could see someone was online or they were active, I would speak to them. So my inbox was just full. I couldn't keep up with people replying. And it wasn't just pitching, saying, do you want to join? Do you want to join? Do you want to join? It was relationship building. And I built tons and tons, hundreds and hundreds of relationships in that first 90 days. And out of the group of people I was talking to, I then sorted them out into, they're not interested, these are kind of interested, and these guys are good to go. And I focused on the people that were open-minded and did want the opportunity. And from those people, some of them are now my highest earners in my business. Wow. So yeah, I worked like a madman. I stopped to eat, go to the toilet, and sleep. That was the only times I stopped working.
Oh, that's great. And are you still doing the same? Are you still using the same philosophy, the same tools, the same methodology now? I mean, obviously you're not going 400 hours a day to do it, but are you still doing basically the same thing you were doing during that big blitz?
Pretty much. I set aside time each day to be doing those activities, because I think if you ever stop the income producing activities, that's when you stop leading by example. And that's when things, in my opinion, get a bit shaky. So you always have to be on the income earning producing activities. But now a lot of my time is spent training my leaders, and it's not management mode stuff, because I know in the industry that's a bit frowned upon, but I do have to be organizing events, organizing trainings, and doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes that, like you say, will scale in the future. So creating assets and creating tools for my team to use as well. But yeah, the basics never change, and I will continue to do those basics forevermore, simply because, we've got this in our office. This is the reason why. We have a bell in our office. Every single time we get a sale, we ring the bell. Every single time we get a team member, we ring the bell. And the reason why we have this is because when that bell rings, that's the ka-ching. That's where the money's made.
Yes.
Okay. So we can spend all day, every day creating fancy posts, doing Zoom calls and things, but the money is made in the income producing activities. So in our household, if that bell isn't ringing very often, it means we're not working hard enough.
I love it. Like Pavlov. You got to get that dog's mouth watering. You got to ring that bell. I love it. Hey, so you had already been building online when you first started, and then the world changed. Everything got flipped upside down. All of a sudden, these billions of people who were building belly to belly were now all online as well. So, where your secret sauce was out there, then a whole bunch of other people were doing it. Did you see a decrease in your ability to build when everybody in the universe went online, or was your system already in place to the point where you're just cranking along and doing your thing and numbers didn't change much?
Do you mean for
over the last few years where everybody kind of jumped, it's like, before 3 years ago, a lot of people were just belly to belly. They didn't even try online. Now, 3 years ago, everybody was online, the entire network marketing industry. Did that have much of an impact on your growth?
Massive. My business grew by 5 or 6 times. I can't even do the maths. It was huge. My business, grew by 5 or 6 times, and it was because I was ready. They say luck is when opportunity meets preparation. And in January 2020, I had a beautiful team of leaders all in place with our systems in place, so that we were there, we were ready for it. And when we did go into lockdown, and when everybody wanted an online opportunity and everybody wanted to, invest in the products and get healthier themselves, we were there, and we soaked it up. We took massive advantage of the opportunity. I could say I was lucky, but there are also other people in the industry that I know that didn't have similar growth through the pandemic. So I was in place for that. And I think that's what's important. You've always got to be ready. You've always got to be ready, and you've always got to be willing to evolve and adapt through the times.
Yes.
So now, this year is a very much readjusting period where we're going back out offline again.
Yeah, right.
Things are starting to settle again. The world's been a bit of a crazy place, and now things are really starting to, move in a solid direction. Things feel a lot more stable now. So I'm excited for the next 5 years of stable, solid growth, where everybody who joins the business will build a beautiful, long-lasting business.
Yeah, love it. Hey, let's talk about your explosive growth for 1 second. I mean, quintupling your business in that short amount of time is just insane, doing a 5x. Let's talk about retention. Because when you 5x your business, obviously you got to make sure that 5x isn't falling out the back end again. So what were you doing? What were you doing before the crazy growth? And did you have to make any modifications for that crazy growth to keep your retention numbers up?
Yeah. So we did a couple of what I would like to call as good moves, if I'm not blowing my own trumpet. Please. I think the first good move we did was when we had a huge influx of new team members, we were thinking, this is a nightmare. How are we going to train all these new people? So we created a getting started website. So that everyone that joins our team now, we send them a link to a website. They get a password where they can log in. And then there's 7 steps. Step 1, step 2, order your product. Step 3, create your list. Step 4, attend the trainings. So it's a 7-step program now that when people join, whereas before, each person that would join, we would have to do that back and forth with them. And if you're getting, 10, 20 team members a month, it's almost unmanageable. So first of all, we created that system with the New Starters website. Second of all, before the growth, we used to do 1 or 2 training calls a week. During the pandemic, during everyone working from home, we had 4 Zoom calls a day.
Wow.
We had a morning call, a 10 o'clock call, a 3 o'clock call, and a 7 p.m. call, and each call was loaded simply because there was nothing else to do.
Right.
And also it was a sense of community that everybody in their homes were lonely. So when each Zoom call we did, everyone would pile on, and it would be fun, and everybody was just winning, and it was absolutely fantastic. But now the world's going back to normal. People, are all zoomed out. So we're going back to sort of a few Zooms a week. And that's what it's all about. You just got to adapt to what the audiences are saying and how people are feeling. Our business is very based upon reading the public, if that makes sense.
Well said. Now, I really appreciate the talking about the systemization. I mean, you and I just met, so we don't know each other too well, but that's always been what Conchetta and I scream from the mountaintops. You got to have a system in place. Once the system's in place, everything else works, but it needs to be a website. It needs to be a place where people can go watch videos at their pace, listen to things at their pace, do things at their pace, yet always have that community in place to drive them forward. So I love that. Thanks so much. So you guys are about to have a baby. I'm so happy for you guys. It's fantastic. How do you think that is going to change your travel plans? Because I know, like, it's time. It's time to drop the gloves and get out there and start flying around the globe again. Are you guys excited for that? Are you going to be packing the baby in the plane? What's the game plan?
Yeah, so I think that was one of the main reasons why we joined the business once we got a bit more in depth. Mm-hmm. You know, we did join initially for the extra income, but over the years of building the business and seeing other families in the business, we thought, wow, we could do that. You know, we could be those parents that are always at home, to be able to, you know, be there and care for our little one. But also, and this is my favorite thing about our business, we're going to be such great teachers for our baby and our child as they grow up in terms of mindset, attitude, willpower, and basically all the stuff that we don't get taught as children. We just sort of get thrown out into the world, and we have to figure it out ourselves. So I'm really looking forward to teaching our little girl when she arrives all of the, you know, amazing stuff that I've learned in the business, so that she can shorten her learning curve and not have to figure it out herself. We're also going to be taking her everywhere as much as we can. We're lucky that both our parents are willing to be babysitters. So conventions and trips where we feel like it might be better to leave her at home, then we've got that, which is great. But we're going to try and take her as much as we can, simply to give her the exposure to the world and show her what's out there and broaden her mind, and, you know, hopefully let her dream big when she gets to that age, you know. So yeah, everything we've been working towards for the first 7 years is leading up to this moment. So if I was to ever sort of write a book about my network marketing experience, I would definitely call the first 7 years chapter 1. And this Zoom call actually is turning the page now onto the next chapter. Oh, I love it. Where we're going to be building a business as parents. Yes. And I feel like the desires and the fire burning within me is even going to burn brighter and higher than ever, because I'm going to have an even more powerful reason why. Mm-hmm.
Well, as a grandparent, I can assure you, your parents cannot wait to get their hands on that baby. I cannot spend enough time with my granddaughter, believe me. So you're going to have built-in babysitters like you can't believe, because grandparents die for baby time. Hey, are you and your wife working on the business together? I never even asked you that.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have mentioned. So me and my wife are the same position in the company. So I joined, and then she signed under me as my team member, and we're both.
Oh, good. So you guys have actually two separate lines.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you. Congratulations.
So we doubled all the income and bonuses and things, which is what our mentor advised.
Yeah. Double income, boy. Until you have it, you have no idea how good it is you know, at that level. So, hey, how much work are you doing internationally? Because I know, you know, it's, again, you guys were very biased towards being online. Now that we're moving back offline again and trying to get out there, are you building a lot internationally? You sticking more in Europe? What's your build strategy?
So my organization is naturally quite large in Europe. We haven't actually done much offline events traveling abroad yet, simply because we haven't been able to, but definitely willing to. My mentor always told me to stay local and it will go global. That's what he always used to say. Keep it local and it will go global. And that's exactly what I've done. And now my business is in maybe 20 countries around the world. And it's mainly because I have a fantastic leader in my business from Lithuania. And she has exploded into Europe massively. So when I say my business is in 20 countries, it's because of this Lithuanian leader who's in majority of those countries, like, you know, France, or the Nordic countries, Spain, and Holland. I'm looking forward to when we can going out there and showing them the offline aspect of the business, which a lot of them haven't even experienced yet.
Yeah, isn't that funny? That people who have joined in the last 2-3 years have no idea what we've been doing for the last 70. It's just so funny to me. You know, and thankfully, folks like you are smart enough to be online before everything happened. So there was no pivot. There was just a double down, you know, where some people had to completely restructure their businesses. So that leads me to my next obvious question. If you were to start again today, if you just got your kit today, what are 1, 2, 3, 4, however many things you want to talk about, but what would you tell somebody brand new starting today to have their fastest path to growth?
I would do exactly what I did before. I would get online I would find my target audience in groups. So I would look for people who have similar interests and things in common with me. And I would I call it door opening, where you basically are almost starting chats with so many people that eventually from the chats you can find out if they're, happy with their income. Are they happy at their work, or are they working on a health goal right now? Would they be interested in the products? Mm-hmm. So all I do is I build relationships with people and ask good questions. And then once I find people that are maybe dissatisfied like I was, then I say, well, maybe you might want to have a look at what I do, and then people who are on a health journey, I say, well, I've been taking this and I love it. I'd totally recommend it if you're open to it. Mm-hmm. So I would get in groups, start networking, asking good questions, posting about the opportunity, and just basically I would do what I did in that first 90 days and just build a team, working one person at a time, helping them duplicate, teaching them what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Communication's key, on the phone quite a lot to my team, and just showing them what this business is all about. Mm-hmm. And also building conference to conference is very, very, very important. Because when I went to my first event, I went there with a bad attitude, thinking, what's this going to be like? I have no idea what I'm going to. Yeah. And I walked out of the room saying, I'm going to smash this business. I'm going to get to the top position in this company. I'm going to be a top earner one day. Mm-hmm. So I know the power of events. So that's why when conferences happen, I am like a sergeant major trying to get all of my team members there, because I know how it affected me. So yeah, hook them online is what I like to say, and then cook them at convention where they can see the bigger picture. And hopefully from then on, if convention doesn't work, then I can't help them, because conventions are so important.
But do me a favor. It's for, again, talking to people who have just gotten started or even have been here for the last 3 years who could not attend a convention. Think about all the people that have been doing this for a couple of years now and had no ability to attend with these. Why are conventions so important? What happens there that lit you on fire?
It's not even what happens. It's the feeling in the room. Because when I first joined, I thought there wasn't many people doing this. I was skeptical if it was even legit. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I walked through the doors into the room, and the first one was a small one, it was 500 people. And I thought, wow, all these people here have signed up too, like me. Right. They're all franchise partners. And then as time went on and I saw people on stage, doctors talking about the science of the product, mm-hmm. Top earners in the business talking about how it's changed their life. Yeah. My mouth was on the floor. I was just gobsmacked thinking, this is incredible. I actually can't believe this world exists, and I had no idea. Mm-hmm. So it just opens all possibilities. It allowed me to dream again, to be honest. Wow. All that ambition and all those goals that I had as a child and growing up got suppressed as I was a carpenter, and it got stole from me. Mm-hmm. And this business relit those fires and said, right, I could actually design my own life with this business. I could wake up each day and do what I want. And the most amazing thing is I can help other people do that. I could be the guy that said, because of Dan, I can now live life on my terms. That's even better than living your own life on your own terms, I believe, giving the gift to other people.
That's so great, man. Just the fact that the words came out of your mouth, it let me dream again. Like, dude, I hope you understand how powerful those words are when you came out. Like, it really resonated with me for that second. Because again, man, think about what's going on now. The Great Resignation, people not wanting to go back to work. This incredible influx into our industry of folks who might have never looked at it before because they've lost scope of their dream. They got stuck in the 9 to 5 or whatever else. So that's really powerful. Hey, do me a favor. In case somebody's watching this on their phone or, listening to it in their car, what's the best way for folks to contact you personally?
Yeah. So the best way is via my Instagram. So my handle is at dan.aldridge_XXY. So dan.aldridge_XXY is on Instagram.
Okay, beautiful. And I already know part of this answer because you got a baby that's going to be popping out any second now, but I got to hear, what is your 6-month goal?
6-month goal is to help my leaders get to the top ranks. I've got some amazing leaders right now who are, they do have the fastest teams in the UK. And my goal is just, my mentor always said, work with the right people in the right areas at the right time. And these specific leaders in my business are on fire. So as a mentor, I'm just getting more wood and throwing it on the fire and making that fire as big and as awesome as possible. So I'm working with those guys to help them qualify through the positions. But again, I'm always ringing that bell. I will always be in the trenches, finding my own personal team members and helping them grow as well. So new lines, but helping my leaders continue their momentum to success.
That was such a good point. It's funny. I was planning on making that my last question, but now I got to keep going because you made such a good point. Digging through your numbers to find the people who are being explosive, who are seeing explosive growth. Do you do that daily? Do you keep going into your numbers and just saying, okay, I see that Mary is exploding. I got to talk to her. I see that John is doing X. Is that what you do to find these people that are getting that momentum going?
Yeah, if you look at the company leaderboards of top producers in our company, I'm hardly ever on them. I'm not the top recruiter. I'm not the top salesperson, but the one place I do excel in this business is I'm a fantastic talent spotter. I've got fantastic observant skills. I can notice who is standing out from the crowd. I can notice who is putting the action in. And the one top tip I can say to everyone listening to this is, as a leader, this is my best line. I say to them, go and get 3 to 5 team members, and I will do it, and of new team members, and I will do a new starters call for you. If you say this to everyone in your organization, right, some of them will go and do that. And some of them that do that, they are the people you work with.
Yes.
And that's what I say to everyone. Go and get 3 to 5 and we'll do a new starters call. You jump on a new starters call, you're training the newbies, but what you're really doing is edifying that leader and building relationships with that person and saying, right, I'm now going to work with you. You keep doing your thing. I will keep, training and building your business and helping you succeed. And that's how I build my business. I just work with the workers constantly whilst producing my own, stuff.
That was a platinum nugget, and I'm so glad that we led the conversation there. That's so good, man. That everybody needed to hear that. So Dan Aldridge, thanks so much for being on today, man. I really appreciate it. You gave great tips. I'm so proud of you for the growth you got, and congratulations on the new baby. I'm so happy for you guys.
Thank you so much, Melford. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Have a great day, bud.
You too.